hope you are all doing well and staying safe and active and healthy. A special shout out to my HearthStone friends. Some of you I have met before, some of you I have not had the chance to meet. My name is Hannah Jakus, and I work at the John Michael Kohler Art Center here in Sheboygan, and I'm very excited to be able to share a project with you. I'm currently recording this from my studio space at home, which is just a bedroom that I keep all my art supplies in. But I am excited because I have a project that you'll be able to do in your own home. It is, like I said, inspired by an artist that is a part of our permanent collection. It's actually the first of a few projects we're going to be releasing throughout the summer and into the fall. So if you really enjoy this one and you would like to participate in another artist-inspired project, you'll be able to find those at the website socialstudio.space. That is socialstudio.space. And you can just click on there and go through and look at the different projects inspired by other artists. So today, the project we're going to be doing is inspired by Ray Yoshida. And Ray Yoshida was born in 1930 in Hawaii, and he served in the military. After doing that, he studied at the School of Art Institute in Chicago, as well as the Syracuse University. And in 1959, he began teaching at the School of Art Institute, the same place that he had gone to. Then over the next 40 years, he became an important person in the Chicago's art scene. He both mentored and was a peer to many different artists within the Chicago area. Yoshida mainly created paintings, but he also did collage. He would carefully cut out images from comics and then paste them into sketchbooks as well as onto papers and canvases. And the ones he did not paste, he carefully organized into small boxes. Yoshida also collected unique and interesting objects. He would often choose and organize these objects based on the elements and principles of art, which is something he learned when he was at art school. Yoshida had a really large collection of objects that ranged from pieces that were made by self-taught artists or artists who did not go to an art school, as well as objects from art professors, objects that were souvenirs, and objects that he found at flea markets and places where people were selling them. Yoshida didn't really like to talk about his own life, but he did enjoy talking and sharing information about the objects that were a part of his collection. The objects and the stories helped him to connect to people in his life. Yoshida's process of discovering and collecting these objects inspired generations of Chicago artists to find their own meaningful connections with the material world around them. So now that we know a little bit more about Ray Yoshida, let's dive in and get creative ourselves. This project is inspired by arranging objects that are important to you by looking at the characteristics of them. The first thing you're going to need to do is think about, where do you keep the objects that are important to you, or where do you keep objects that you collect? You're going to head over there to get started. Take some time and just observe the objects how they are. Just take a look at them. There's a few questions I'm going to have you think about while you're looking at these objects. During this time, you may want to journal or draw some of your answers. Otherwise, we encourage you to have a conversation with another person to discuss a few of these questions. That can either be a person that is sitting right next to you, close to you, or it could be someone over the phone or using a video chat. Here are a few questions to think about. First, you're going to start by describing or drawing the objects. Maybe not all of them, maybe all of them. That's up to you. Taking a look at your objects, what are their most important characteristics? Are they tall? Small? What are they made out of? What color are they? Where did they come from? Why do you like them? Why are they organized the way they are right now? Does the way they are organized right now tell you anything about the objects? Now, I read those questions a little fast, but if you go to the socialstudio.space website, you'll be able to find this lesson, and those questions will be in there. It's called Art Preserve Artists Ray Yoshida, and you'll be able to take a look at those. Otherwise, rewind and play them again. Step number 2, either by yourself or with the people that you were just having the conversation with, use your answers to the question above to decide how to rearrange your objects. Either rearrange them in the same place that they are or move them to a different space. You're welcome to take some objects away or add new objects to the arrangement to help change the meaning. Step number 3, write in a journal or talk to the people that you've been talking to answer the following question. Has the meaning of the objects changed now that they're arranged in this new way? Why or why not? Take some time to reflect and see, did rearranging the objects tell a different story, or did it tell the same story? I'm now going to show you an arrangement that I had and what it looked like once I rearranged it. Now that I've shared with you the steps, I'd like to show you my shelf. This shelf is located in my studio on my table that I do most of my work at. And I broke it up into 2 different shelves. On this shelf, I have more natural objects. I made this out of clay. This is beach glass from the lake. This is a stone I found from the lake that had a very nice pattern on the front of it. And then this was a stone that I used a marker and I painted on. It was like a paint marker. So all of those objects to me are more natural. They're more rock-based. And then down here, these objects are either gifts or something that I've created that doesn't fit into that category. So that category to me feels like rocks, and this is kind of the other. This was a gift from a friend from another country. This is a project that I did. It was a workshop. This is also a gift from a friend from another country. This one is a gift as well. And then this is something that I made. And so you'll notice I separated it also a little bit like color. These are more natural colors and a little bit of little darker, where these are natural colors, but it has more white. So I am using, for step number 2, I'm kind of answering all my questions and talking to you rather than using my sketchbook, because it's a little bit harder for me to sketch and film a video at the same time. But one way that I think I might rearrange these is by created objects and objects that are gifts. So I'm going to do that really quick. Okay, so I have rearranged my objects. And so on this shelf now, they're objects that are gifts. And I'm considering the beach glass I found on the beach to be a gift to myself. 1, because that jar doesn't fit on that shelf. But 2, I like to think of it as maybe Lake Michigan's way of sharing the beauty is gifting the beach glass that has washed up on the shore. And then my bottom shelf is objects I have created. And actually that stone should go up there. And so these are all things that I have created or I've embellished and added to. And so I think this is a really cool, I didn't notice that like there's a good mix between objects that I've made and objects that I've given. I don't necessarily like this arrangement. I'm probably going to move it back just because it feels a little empty on this bottom shelf, but I didn't notice how many gifts that I had that were created pieces that I included in my shelf, and that's something really interesting about the objects that I keep on my studio table. You know, you want to surround yourself with things that maybe you find joyful, and I guess having gifts and having creations is something that I find joy in. Maybe that's what it is. That's kind of the common thing of all of those, is they make me feel joy. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this project. If you are not quite ready to be finished yet, I do have some additional steps you could take if you would like to. One of those is to repeat the same activity, but with just different objects. Think about and reflect on the process of rearranging and the new meanings now that you have had some time to practice the activity. You can also take a look at images of Rei Yoshida's artwork and his collection at jmkac.org/collections. His work is on there. You could also try and learn a little bit more about Chicago Imagists at chicagoimagists.com, as well as try Rei Yoshida's collage process. Take some time to cut out images from comics or magazines or books that are appropriate to cut into, and then organize them in containers and use them to create collages on paper or canvas or whatever else that you feel like you would like to collage to. I hope that you have all found inspiration and that you are interested in creating more projects and may go check out the socialstudio.space site to become inspired and learn more about artists that are part of the Art Center's collection, as well as artists that we work with at the Art Center and other ideas that we just really enjoy that we would like to share with you. I hope you all have a wonderful day and continue to stay safe and healthy, and look forward to seeing you at the Art Center someday soon.